I am officially running for President of the United States.
Could he actually win?
No freaking way!
Which Republican candidate has the best chance of winning the general election?
Donald Trump.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump.
Trump will not be president.
Trump will never be elected president of the United States.
You're not going to be president,
A man who will never be president of the United States.
Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Take it to the bank.
He will never be president.
Donald Trump is not going to become president of the United States. She's at plus 19. Do you think the tapes made a difference? Of course! They made all the difference!
This race is over.
Hillary Clinton has raised more than double Donald Trump, vastly outspending him.
The presidency at about 89% for Hillary Clinton.
Your analytical model has never been wrong. Now projects Hillary Clinton to win presidential election.
100% chance. You still think she has a 100% chance of winning the election?
I do.
And what would Donald Trump have to do to turn things around?
Prayer and hope for a Festivus miracle.
This is CNN's coverage of Election Night in America, the fight for the presidency.
We don't care. Oh, okay, have Kentucky. Who cares?
Kentucky.
Don't care about Indiana. Don't care.
Indiana with West Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas, Nebraska, and Wyoming with its vote, North Dakota and South Dakota, Texas.
Up and down the middle of the country, all red.
Arkansas, Louisiana, the state of Montana, Missouri.
It was at 80% an hour ago for Clinton.
What is it now?
68%.
Okay, God damn it, I'm nervous.
Ohio.
Hold. Ohio, gone.
Idaho.
Okay, yeah, I don't see a fucking landslide here. I don't see it at all.
North Carolina.
God damn it, if we need Florida, are you shitting me?
Florida.
It is fucking panic time.
Georgia.
Donald Trump, now the favorite to win the presidency.
Iowa.
New York Times now has it at 95% chance.
Utah.
Can still win, but in order to do so, she has to win Wisconsin. God damn, fuck.
Arizona.
Alaska.
Pennsylvania.
Michigan.
What a night! How did this...
Very few models, including our own at the Huffington Post, gave Donald Trump any chance. I think the reason for that is that there was, in fact, a so-called hidden Trump vote. People were not willing to tell pollsters and investigators and reporters what their true feelings were. And I think there's way too much number crunching that goes on, way too much big data. Well, big data is big data, but people are individuals and they make individual choices. And, it's garbage in, garbage out is the old phrase in statistics. And there's a lot of garbage that went in from everybody in New York and Washington and Los Angeles and so forth, talking to each other about what the rest of America was thinking and what the rest of America was. And this is the land of the flyover people getting their revenge on those establishments, including the media. And the media got it wrong because they didn't understand the people they thought they did.
How's it going, guys? It's Thursday, June 13th. I want to talk about the media bias against our beloved president. And I want to kind of focus and unpack why that is, why I believe it is. It's just, you're just going to get my opinion, but I think mainly why it is because the media, first off, they don't understand that 63 million people voted for Donald Trump. They forget that, okay? Half of the country supports this president. They forget that. And so at this point, I just believe that reporters and pundits, they don't understand Trump. They don't understand his rhetoric. And they don't want to. They're not trying to. You know, they're journalists. They're highly educated, adept at social media and social gatherings. They're, you know, they're a class that's deferred to the establishment for generations. So they understand the game as it was played. It's Washington. They also understand that peeling the skin off Donald Trump and trolling 63 million Americans who voted for him drives viewership rating. It drives up ratings. So you got Trump. You got the president who calls he does it all the time. He basically calls the press the enemy of the people. Calls them fake news. And they love to hate the man. And you don't think that he knows what he's doing. I mean, of course he knows what's going to happen when he lashes out like that. And so what do? They hate him right back. They call him dangerous, stupid. And when they do that, they're calling his 63 million voters and supporters stupid too. So guess what? You probably have more people in the country right now that hate the media than ever before. And according to the mainstream media ratings, it's true, because they are tanking. It's just getting worse and worse for these networks. I mean, so this is something a lot of people that don't really follow politics much don't really understand. They just know if they turn on CNN, they're going to see Trump bad. If they turn on Fox News, most of the time, it's probably mostly positive about Trump. Not all of them. But you know, I think what's so bothersome about it is reporters and pundits, they don't understand him. You know, I've explained that, but they just I guess Trump's voters know. You know, it wasn't just that Hillary was a shitty candidate, because she was, but it's just that, you know, his voters, at least, like, speaking for myself, detested the crowd I mean, I just could not. Hillary voters, they were just so annoying. And it's just, they were so arrogant. They were, you know, when you really, it's like Trump really could get inside of you, you know, when you listen to him. I know a lot of people who didn't watch a lot of his rallies, I watched them all, but it's just like, he really, if he didn't understand you, he really did a good job making you believe that he did, because, you know, you think about it, and this guy is like, he doesn't come across as a billionaire. He doesn't come across as, and, you know, so what I think is, by the media not wanting to understand him or us, it blinds itself, I think, to something real and critical. And it's just a simmering resentment against, you know, against half of the country, you know, and it's not gonna go away, even if Trump goes away, you know. And so I don't know, I guess it's just like, why does the establishment and establishment media think that our country doesn't need borders? You know, why do they think that illegal immigration is a great idea? How is that going to be beneficial to me, you know, losing our complete identity as a nation, basically. They hate that. They you know, having a controlled southern border, they absolutely hate that idea. They don't want to have nothing to do with that idea. That's the other thing. Last week, Trump made a deal. He basically threatened Mexico if they don't start doing their part when it comes to these caravans coming from Guatemala and Honduras, all these other Central American countries coming through Mexico to get to our southern border. He's gonna attack or implement a 5% tariff on all Mexican goods coming into the United States. Well, guess what? The Mexicans, they've been taking advantage of this. Mexico's been taking advantage of our horrible immigration laws forever. I mean, for the past forever. We've never had a president that really pushed Mexico to do anything about it. So, what does Trump do? He basically says, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a tariff on all Mexican goods coming in the United States." Mexico relies on the United States, our economy. If we didn't buy their goods, Mexico would be completely screwed. So they're like, hey, this guy is serious. He's done pretty much everything. That's one thing that the media don't understand. They hate everything that he does, but guess what? Trump's pretty much done everything that he said he was going to do when he ran. How many past presidents has done that? None. I mean, so anyway, he made this, he put it out there, and lo and behold, Mexico is now holding, instead of us having to try to hold asylum seekers, usually what happens when someone's claiming asylum, okay? First off, let's talk about that. 60%, this is just numbers that I look online over all this stuff. Over 60% of people crossing the border with children who are claiming asylum, they're not even their children. This is no lie. It's not even their children, but they know. There's attorney, there's left-wing, there's attorneys that actually help these people. They explain to these people, look, just if you have a child, you can claim asylum. They'll set up a court date, and then you show up to the court date. Okay? You get turned loose. That's our laws, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. You show up, you get detained, you claim asylum. They're expected you to show up to a court date. 90% of the people do not come back and show up to that court date. They're just gone. Those are our laws. That's how ridiculous our immigration laws are. We really don't have many. So, and Trump understands this. And he's going to fix it. And he is fixing it. So now Mexico agreed. They're sending 10,000 troops to their southern border. They just turned back, I don't know how many thousands of people just in the past week. We were on pace to we were going to get over 1 million illegals just this year alone. We were on pace. Actually, it might even been more than that. I think they said it would have been the population of Cleveland in 1 year. People. That's the thing is it's a double-edged sword, because when Trump won, their whole world knew this guy means what he says, and things are going to change. And I think that's why we're seeing such a surge of illegal immigration. People are they know their time is limited. They don't have much time, and I think they're taking all the chances in the world. They're taking risks, that people didn't take before to try to get here. And it's so basically, bottom line is Mexico caved, and So right now, Mexico, and Trump stated this, Mexico is actually working with the United States when it comes to illegal immigration more than the Democrats, more than our elected officials in our Democrat elected officials in Congress. How pathetic is that? It's completely and utter nonsense what is going on right now. They have done absolutely since they've won back the House, they've done absolutely nothing to help the United States. For nothing. All we've had and all we're going to continue to have until 2020 is more investigations into crimes that didn't happen. It's so frustrating, and I probably do think about it too much and put too much time and effort into thinking about it, researching it, but I don't know, guys. It's pretty sad. You know, one thing that I think back about is, I played these clips to start off the podcast. I'll never forget that night for the rest of my life. I mean, to listen for a year saying how it was an impossibility, he'll never win. And I remember staying up late and watching the announcement when he was considered the winner. That was an amazing night. And yeah, to just kind of, I want to just kind of talk about, why, I know there's a lot of people that just don't understand, you want to know why the country's so divided right now. You can pretty much blame the media for that, all of it, because it's, if it wasn't for Fox News, guys, this would be a completely different situation. I mean, the mainstream media, they are in the pockets of the Democrats, and they're going to do whatever they can to bring down this president. And it's going to continue to happen. And that's why this next election, you really haven't seen anything yet. It's going to get ugly. The last one, 2016, was ugly. This one is going to be very, very bad, because he's gotten a lot done in his first 2 years. I mean, he's gotten rid of a lot of Obama policies that it's really pissing the left off. It's pissing the media off. So especially this Mexico deal. I mean, that's huge. That's really gonna curb illegal immigration without building a wall. And he's still pushing for the wall, and he's gonna get it too. But with Mexico agreeing to hold asylum seekers in Mexico and putting National Guard down on their southern border, it's going to make a difference. It really is. You need to understand, this is just my opinion, but I don't think the left is ever going to go for a strong border, because they rely too much on these invaders coming into our country, because they know illegals. I don't care what anybody says. There is voter fraud. Illegals vote. There's proof people using dead, identities of dead people voting. Illegals, they vote. Trust me. When you get into these big cities, it's impossible to monitor everybody. Make sure that our elections are on the up and up. No. So what they want is, seeing how you got Texas, and that's the big thing. Thank God for Texas. If we didn't have Texas, we wouldn't even be the United States anymore, in my opinion, because that's like 50 electoral votes or something like that. And if that ever turns blue for the Democrats, a Republican will never win the presidency again. And don't think that it's not. They're not trying, because that's a big thing. That's a big reason, I think, why this immigration thing is just so volatile. You got half the country that really wants a strong border, and you got half that do not. And it's mainly because of what they hear on the media. The media is pushing this narrative that it's racist to want a strong southern border. You know, they really, it's, you know, I mean, is it, so we need borders and illegal, I mean, it should have been stopped years ago, you know, like the tax cuts. I mean, we're horrible because we don't want to pay more in taxes. We're terrible people, you know. They think that everyone should be giving them half their paycheck to the government. That's just what we should do. Well, no, that's not what we should do. You know, the whole corporate tax break. You're caving to the corporations. Guess what? We have the strongest economy we've had in 30 years. Unemployment's as low as it's ever been. Unemployment in minorities, lowest as it's ever been in history. You know, you don't hear about the economy getting reported on the news. You're not going to, because it's doing so well. They're not going to give him any sort of credit for anything that he's done, any accomplishments that he's done, period. It's, you know, it's just how I think it's going to be. It's really, really sad. I mean, you've had 8 years of just basically look at Obama's economy. 8 years. He never once got over 3% GDP. No president in history has ever done that. That's terrible. Highest food stamp participation president ever. We've had more people on the food stamp program under Obama than ever before. And you still hear the media just praising this guy like he was the best thing that's ever happened to this country. I mean, it's ridiculous. He gave Iran billions of dollars. Iranians, I just read on Facebook on an article, they torpedoed a couple tankers. I mean, where'd they get that? You got a country who's basically, they want to wipe Israel off the map, and they basically want to wipe the United States off the map too. And you gave them $113 billion? Are you kidding me? It's just, I don't think people understand just how close this country was. I mean, when he got elected, he did say that he was going to basically change the country, and he almost did. I mean, we were, yeah. I think that was a major reason too why Hillary didn't win, is because people knew that it was just going to be Obama 2.0, and they just did not like, you know, the country wasn't headed to where they made all these promises, and they just did not deliver. And so they went a different direction. I mean, so, but I hope it's kind of, I hope that I kind of helped you understand really what's going on with the media, what has been going on, and what's going to continue to go on with the media. You're going to have people who, they're going to watch, you know, CNN, MSNBC. They just, that's what they choose to believe. And you're going to have people that watch, you know, Fox News for cable news. And most conservatives, though, they get a lot of their information from the internet, social media, and that kind of stuff, which can be pretty dicey too. But yeah, it's going to be crazy for, this once the election cycle starts kicking in again, start getting debates, and it's going to be crazy. But when it's all said and done, I think he's gonna win re-election. He's got an amazing economy, to run on, and he's, like I said, he's kept most of his promises. He didn't appeal Obamacare. You can thank John McCain for that. He needed one vote from him, and he pretty much tanked that whole thing. After he campaigned on how he's going to appeal Obamacare, and he got the chance, and he'd rather fuck over Trump, and he did. I give him credit there. He did, but yeah. I think a lot of the anti-Trump candidates, I don't think they're going to do well the next election. I think there's going to be more Trump people running, and I think they're going to win. So I think we're going to retake the House, and I think we'll keep the Senate, and I think Trump's going to win. So we're going to have 4 years of what we've had. At least I hope. That's what I hope so. But yeah, so just let me know what you guys think, comment or whatever. And by the way, I'm more than willing, if anybody wants to come and chat with me or whatever, we can do that too. We can have a good conversation and talk about a lot of this stuff. But until next time, guys, peace out. We'll talk to you later.